Disappearance in Damascus is the story of my friendship with my fixer, a remarkable Iraqi woman named Ahlam. I first met her in 2007 when I was a freelancer reporting a story for Harper's Magazine on the Iraqi refugees who were flooding across the border. She was well-connected, a pillar of her community, and kind of like a one-woman NGO. Because she had these extensive contacts and because people trusted her, she was an excellent fixer. She worked for everybody. She worked for BBC, Al Jazeera, Reuters, NPR, also Amnesty, Human Rights Watch, UNHCR. We became good friends, and a year later I was back in Damascus after the story ran, and she was arrested in front of me by Syria's secret police. The book is about my search for her. One of the reasons I wrote the book was to bring attention to the life of a fixer. It's one of those jobs that nobody's heard of, and yet fixers are responsible for bringing us most of the news from the world's most dangerous places. Most foreign correspondents have used a fixer in some way, whether as a driver or translator or guide, or to help them make contacts. I'd previously avoided using fixers. In my work, it's more like immersive journalism than daily news. I tend to spend long periods of time in the societies I'm writing about, so I work through friends, whether, for example, an archaeologist, university students. Once in Iran, my fixer, unofficially, was a poet. Or I've worked through local journalists. One of the reasons that I've been a little bit reluctant to use fixers is because a lot of fixers are forced to register with their governments. They need permission from authorities to operate, and often in return for that, they may be under pressure to spy on you. Because of the way Ahlam worked, she was unofficial. She wasn't registered with Syria's Ministry of Information like most Syrian fixers were compelled to be, and I came to really trust her. But she was being spied on. And when she was arrested, the Syrian secret police tried to turn her into an informant to spy on us, on journalists. She refused, and for that reason they kept her locked up. When freelance journalists or fixers run into trouble, we're sort of in the same boat. There's no one we can call upon to help. And the difference between a fixer and a freelance journalist is generally that the journalist has a passport that can serve as some kind of protection. The worst thing that can happen to us in most cases is that we're deported. We have to go home. For fixers like Ahlam, that's not an option. If she was deported to somewhere like Iraq, her home country, that could be a death sentence for her. So she was stuck. What helped Ahlam in the long run was that she had so many connected friends, journalists like myself and others, and NGOs who lobbied for her release. And not everyone has that. But it's my belief that that advocacy is the reason that she was eventually released and flown to Chicago by the UNHCR. We've remained friends. I see her regularly. And right now we're both consultants on the film that's being developed by Terry George, who made Hotel Rwanda. So what can we do to protect fixers? Well, first of all, I think coming to acknowledge the key role that fixers play in bringing us world news. Fixers do invisible work. So we don't tend to see them. They're behind the scenes, and many want it that way. It's a risky job, and they may not want their names known. But if news agencies, if media outlets accepted a sense of responsibility and created a policy to advocate for fixers who are endangered because of their work, that would be a good start. Secondly, reporters can acknowledge that they have a responsibility not to put their fixers at unnecessary risk. That's not easy to do, but it starts with awareness. So finally, the main thing I think we can do right now is to start talking about it, to start acknowledging the importance of fixers and our moral responsibility, whether as reporters or as media outlets, to take steps to protect fixers when they get into harm's way, so that they don't end up in the situation Ahlam did, or worse.